Okay, so with Bounty Hunter coming out relatively soon, fingers crossed, they said November 14th, but this has been the fourth or fifth time they've pushed it back. So hopefully, they said they have it finished, they just need to do some polishing work. So odds are it'll be out on the 14th. So when it comes out, a lot of PKers are going to be, they're going to have to make a choice. So Bounty Hunter worlds are going to be non-plus 1. It's going to be high risk. So those of you who remember previous high risk bounty hunter or high risk PvP worlds that we've had, basically you risk what you bring. No protect item, none of that. So what this means is a lot of combos that people use, such as Armed Out Godsword, Noxious Scythe, Noxious Longbow, Staff, a lot of people aren't going to be using that. Because quite frankly, who wants to risk 200 mil, 300 mil? So what this video is going to be doing is showing you guys a little bit of different combos that you guys can do. So these are combos that I use sometimes. I mean, I'm really one of the only people out there who kind of makes old school classic gear setup videos, that type of stuff. So these are going to be clips of me using different gear setups. So let's get into the first clip here. Okay, so this first clip is an oldie and a goldie Dragon Claw spec. So Dragon Claws, forgive me if I'm wrong, they're running about 700k right now, so they are a little bit pricey, but it's a lot cheaper than a 3.4 mil Armed Out Godsword. And you see they do have the capability to output a decent amount of damage, even though they are tier 60. Majority of these weapons I'm using are tier 60. I believe Granite Ball also is a tier 50, I want to say. But let's go into the next clip. Okay, so the next weapon we're talking about is the Dragon Halberd, my personal favorite. Now, unfortunately, I did not get the kill with the special attack on this weapon, but I do have other clips of just how powerful it can be in previous videos. So you can see one of the specials there, nothing too great about it, but I have hit 600s with this before. Now, the reason why this could be a good special attack weapon, good KO, well, you just saw 416, it can hit relatively fast and relatively high, and it only costs about 300, 400k. So yeah, you're going to be risking that on top of your gear. But once again, you gotta kind of think about, for 400k, being able to hit 400, 500, 600s is a pretty good deal. I know Armed Out Godsword can hit higher, but once again, you gotta think about, am I willing to risk that 3.4, 3.5 mil that it is currently at? Okay, so next we have the Crossy Sword. Now this was a huge, well, it was a very, very popular weapon to use pre-EOC due to its high damage output and the fact it could be used to hit mage damage. People would use it for anti-rushing. Now, forgive the double crossy spec here, so we got a 440-ish, and we follow it up with a 350. Sorry for the double spec, but I had to go for it. I felt it in my gut. So, Crossy Sword, it's very good if you want to surprise your opponent. And once again, we're looking at the about 450, 500k price range. So if you really, the key to using the Crossy is comboing it with Avenge. Like pretty much all the weapons I show you, if you can combo it with a decent Venge, especially if they are camping a two-hand weapon, you will have an extremely good chance of killing them. When getting these clips for all these weapons, majority of these clips were on the first fight I found while using these weapons. So if you're patient, you don't waste your specials as soon as the fight starts out. I've seen a lot of people rush their special attacks, and really I've gone through fights just hitting them with my whip and stuff without using a special attack, and then they teleport saying they're out. So when using these lower tiered weapons, you got to be patient and wait for that moment to combo it. So let's go into the next gear setup or weapon, special attack weapon, and it is the Granite Maul. Okay, so the Granite Maul, really no one it's it's a Randy, what I like to call a Randy spec weapon. Sometimes it'll hit, sometimes it doesn't. More often, it won't hit. But here's another example of being patient, waiting for your time to strike. And you see, I almost killed him, but he had a ring of life. So, really, the Granite Ball is for more if you're using two-handers, if you're camping them, because you hit a 400, they get down to like 20 HP, then you quickly spec with the Granite Ball, hit like a 200, and they can't out-eat it. But I can see people using it in Bounty Hunter due to its very low cost, and really it's a surprise weapon. They're not going to be expecting it, so if you manage to combo it, get the drop on them, I can see people using it very successfully in Bounty Hunter, because once again, when you guys think about it, you're not going to have the people. You might say, well, Granite Ball is not going to hit on like full Tectonic or like full Malevolent. You got to understand, people, well, I don't want to say people won't be risking that. It'll be relatively rare that people will be risking that much, because people don't like risking money if there's a chance that they're going to die, especially when it's non plus one world. So these are just a few weapons I could think of off the back of my head that people used to use, and they kind of stopped because it wasn't very good tiers anymore. But if you guys do try to use these, you'll tend to see that 7 times out of 10, you're going to be hitting a relatively decent spec. Now, another one I was looking at was the Dragon Dagger. Now, I have mixed feelings about the Dragon Dagger, mostly because if you're in Rune Armor, odds are you're not going to hit above a 200. That being said, sometimes a 200, if you time it correctly, is just enough, if not more than enough. So I'll continue trying to get clips for the Dragon Dagger. These are just some quick clips that I managed to get before all the assholes hopped on and started trying to rag me. 1849, all those fun people, you know. But yeah, 2 more clips here. If you guys aren't thinking about bringing a spec weapon, you just want to main hand it, here's 2 clips for you. Okay, so I slowed this clip down a little bit so you can actually see me get the kill. I accidentally spec with my Abyssal Whip, but it turns out it's alright. Because once again, bam, Whip comes in big there with the 214. And ironically enough, that's not the first Whip KO I've gotten. I'd gotten that day. I know you kind of think they're rare, but I've been getting a lot of them recently. So that was the second one I got. So let's move on to the first one. Okay, so once again, I slowed the clip down a bit so you can actually see me get the KO with the Whip. I had not been hitting on this guy up until this point, but you see I tried to click Karasi, ended up failing. There's a slight delay, but the Whip KO was enough to kill him. Now this had been the first Whip KO I'd gotten that week. And honestly, I was pretty surprised. I had been getting a few of them the past month, but really I thought it was just a fluke. Maybe a lot of new players were coming in anticipation for Bounty Hunter. But yeah, don't say it's impossible to KO with the Whip, because you can do it. So if you guys have any weapon combos that you want me to try out, or any ideas you have of weapons that you don't want to try out but you want me to make a video of, trying to kind of see if it's a valid gear setup for Bounty Hunter, let me know in the comments section. Another person who watched my video, Moist and Tight, great name, he recommended that I try to use Xanax Crossbow. So I was using that. I tried it out for a bit. Unfortunately, it's tier 48. Now, I was using a Demonic Skull to give people a little bit more incentive to attack me. And when Pures would attack me, I would just demolish them. But if you're using it on people using Rock Shell, Rune Armor, you're not really going to be hitting the 200s, 300s that I was hitting on people with 1 defense. That being said, I did get a kill with it. Technically, the kill was with a dark bow, but I hit a 300 with the Xanax crossbow before that, so I'm counting it as a kill for the crossbow. Okay, so let me know your gear ideas or anything you want me to try down in the comment section. Thanks for watching the video. I'm not sure if I'll be posting my EOC Bounty Hunter gear setup video today. I might save it for another day. I might cop out even though it's finished. I might be a little bit lazy another day and say, fuck it, I'm just going to upload this. So, thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are excited for Bounty Hunter. And I'll see you guys in the next video.